Alrighty, y'alls. Interior is almost entirely buttoned up and stuff. I got to put the glove box back in. I fixed some of the insert piece and stuff, so that's sitting and drying, and then I'll pop that in, see if it fits. I'm actually worried it won't fit because I think part of with getting the blower housing up underneath of the dash as far as I did, I think I ate up some of my space for my glove box insert. So we'll see once that dries if that'll even fit in like it's supposed to. If not, then I make maybe a little bit of a custom one or something, or just put the glove box door, glove box, blah blah blah, glove box door back on, and call it good. Somebody else can figure something else out with it, or I might put a plate piece across inside and then make it so that I can put the radio right there on it because got that all filled in. Which you can put a radio there. There's plenty of room for it, but I don't know. I don't want to cut into it right at the moment, and I don't know what radio I'm going to use and stuff. So, yeah. So that's that. Everything else is running there. Took it on another test cruise today because the wife ran out of gas with the truck, so I had to grab this and take gas to her and fill up the gas can and stuff. So, so I had the hood on and stuff. Oh, I got the AC all figured out. I don't know if I mentioned any of the videos, but so the AC was working perfectly when I bought the Crown Vic. That's one of the first things I checked on it because it's not scorching hot here, but this is the Pacific Northwest. I'm in eastern Washington State, and it gets freaking hot here in the summertime and stuff, and it sucks driving stuff around with no AC, especially when everything we drive nowadays has working AC and stuff into it. So I went all this trouble. That's why I made sure the AC worked before I tore the Crown Vic apart, before I even bought the Crown Vic. And then every time I tore something apart, I kept checking it. Everything kept working, and went to all the trouble, like in the previous videos, of figuring out how to make the AC all graft together and all that kind of stuff, and making it so that, like I said, it works in here. This is all the factory AC stuff for the truck, and then all the factory AC stuff for the Crown Vic is back behind it. So saved, thousands of dollars by not having to buy a vintage air or any of those kind of ones. And I don't know, I've used those before, and I'm not a huge fan of them. The boxes are huge, and anyway, so it wasn't working. Well, it all boils down to, back again, just like everything else on these swaps. I don't know if I have one here, somewhere here I've got one. Well, you can see them over there, just on the side of the fuse box. That thing right there, grounds. It all boils down to grounds, boys and girls. Grounds. So I don't know what happened, but somehow I lost my ground that went to the clutch. So I ran a separate ground and tied it up over there where those ones are, and boom, the clutch kicked on. The AC blows ice cold, blows fantastic. I did have to do some modifications to, now you can't even see it, it's too dark. So back right in there is the intake for the blower. So I did have to modify that a little bit so that I create a little more restriction for it. So worked great though, now that I created some restrictions so the fan can, pull, get a little resistance to it like it's supposed to. It blows air out of these registers and blows just ice cold. It's awesome. So anyway, on to what I really wanted to make was the last video where I left off. I was chopping the bed down, and as you can see, I finished it. Now, I do have some little bit of tweaking and stuff to do. It didn't turn out quite as nice as I wanted, but this bed is just, it's all buggered up, as Nathan Kershaw would say, I guess, is a nice way of saying it. It's not horrendous. I've had worse beds, obviously, but it's also pretty darn rough. I don't know if I would keep this bed if I were doing something that was nicer. The cab and stuff is not bad, but the bed is just like, it's just kind of beat up. It's not horrible. There's no huge caved in places, but it was used as a farm truck. The bed of the floor is kind of, like a roller coaster action going on. And of course the back of the bed has a typical kind of bow out and stuff, but you know what? It's a shop truck. That's supposed to be. I wanted to put this together using all the Crown Vic stuff and everything. So, so I got this cut and fold it back in. So I got to do some kind of hammering and tweaking and stuff, as you can see on it, some weird corners, but otherwise, I like it better than having a freaking seam right here in the middle of it. I'm not going to cut the back of the bed off on it. I've had enough input on that I'm not going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use that like I wanted to or not. It just depends on what I do with the bed floor, which I'll get to that. Cool thing is I confirmed with that trim piece is cut it, it'll slide into itself, and that'll be rocking and rolling. But yeah, again, like I said before, without a seam and some other stuff onto it, and a couple people I've got that are possibly interested in this truck would like it to have this, bigger bed, which it is. It's a nice size bed. I honestly have not measured on the inside. It's not 8 feet, I don't think, but it's nice. A lot of room. So anyway, yeah, got that side. So that's all tacked in and stuff. I got to do some more welding on it, and then seam sealer it and whatnot. What I really am loving, and I don't know if if no one's done this before, like I said, all my other builds have been the Crown Vic all underpinnings on it. So in the Crown Vic dash and everything. So I cut the floor and out of the truck, slid it over, yada, yada. Well, part of that is that this sticks way up. So what's really amazing is doing it this way, where the truck's on the chassis, this barely sticks up. I mean, it really, where the level's sitting, if it wasn't for the shock mount spots, which you might be able to like maybe relocate those or something if you really wanted to, it doesn't really stick up very much onto it. So it's kind of cool. Or the tank. Now I wondered looking at this, and I might try it if I do one like this again where it's sitting on the frame, which I think I might. I mean, purely for the fact of getting them really low and stuff, where we put it on the Crown Vic. I'm really liking this way with the tank. But like this truck came with, see, so this fill here was actually a gas tank that sat between the frame rails. So I don't know, might be able to modify one to fit right there, and so then that would eliminate having this tank sitting here upright. So then this would be able to come in even more to, I don't know, somewhere in here at least before it starts to hit this. So that's, you know, that much that you'd be able to gain and not have the hump. But I don't know, this isn't that bad, it's sitting there. So what I'm debating, and feel free to leave a comment and let me know and whatnot, is should I just keep the metal floor in like it is, you know, and make the little bit of the bloop bloop hump. I can make it a little better. I think the first truck I did, I actually kind of angled that and then brought it over, and I think this was straight down or slight angle, which looked kind of nice. It kind of, you know, angle. It didn't make it quite so, there's just big stupid square here. So I kind of like that. So if I do that, I'll probably do that action. I've got an extra floor. Since I didn't cut across here, then there's not enough of the spot that was cut out to make it, but I have an extra floor, so it'll have the rib sides and everything. Or my other thinking was, see that body line that's across there? That is where, I mean, right here, the bed on these later years goes woo, and it curves instead of being flat. So that's the flattest point up there. So the other thing I was thinking was, I'll make a floor support, just make supports with 1x1 square, run them across, and then just do wood across, you know, and then the whole bed would be actually up to here. So it'd be that height. So you would lose, I don't even know where my tape measure is and stuff, but so in essence, up to here. Whoa. So from here straight across, or I guess from there. So think of that. So like that, it'd be straight across all the way to there, and then drop down. And actually you can make like a, I don't know, you can make that so it lifts up so that you could have storage stuff back inside of here or something. I mean, you could even make it so this lifted up too, and you know, you had some area to put stuff inside of too. Just leave this wood bed, and then you'd have that wood. So yeah, let me know. I'm still debating what to do, because that'd be nice, because then that'd be one level, and you'd still have all of that for the bed, and that's pretty good depth. I mean, I'll measure it to see. In fact, actually, let's just do that right now. Somewhere here I have my wonderful tape measure. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. We've lost all kinds of stuff. I don't know where anything went to. I'll measure it and see, and maybe put in the comments. But I mean, it's not going to be a whole lot lost onto it, so I don't know. Oh, another thing I wanted to show was, let's go under here, and the mounts. So the frame's bobbed so that it's right there. So you can't go back any further. I was back further, but this actually kicks up and catches and hangs the bed way up higher than what it needs to. So I got that played in, so that will be my mount. Then I got my cool rubber mounts from the truck. These were pretty good shape. I just cut them in half, so it'll be enough to stick inside of there, and that'll be a nice one to do what I need to do. There's one on the other side. And then on the front of the truck, there is the front brace. So it ties into the frame, pops up, and then same thing too. I got rubber that I'll put in there, and then I'm actually probably going to run something from there across. That's the rear cab mount that pops up the frame. So I think I'm going to run a piece of angle or something from there to there, and then also obviously also I'm going to run from there to that rear hump, or maybe even do a crossover piece. So I'll tie that in really nice so that we don't have so much flex and stuff to it. As I said in another video, I did that before on the other one, so that will all kind of be in here. I wanted to come up here and and run in, but then that kind of runs into that stuff, so I'm not going to be able to come up as high as I want to. But I braced this stuff in on the last truck. I didn't do that on the first one, and notice I did have, you know, quite a bit of flex, even just making this single one across here like this, like I've always done. Helps a little bit, but not nearly as much as you start to tie in across here or like back here. So that's probably what I'll do too, is come down back inside of there, and I'll go over to there like that. So I'll cross them like that, and then maybe even run a cross piece here or something. I mean, you can never have enough. It's just amazing because, again, the whole body of the Crown Vic ties this full chassis together. So without it, you've got this huge flex point. I personally do not like and do not agree with people that have ran bolts through and, you know, put like Pocky Pucks or washer stuff. To me, and I know Hot Rod Garage did that, and I really don't agree with that. I think it's a really stupid idea, and over the long haul, what's going to happen is your bed and your cab are going to start to crack from where those bolts went through at. Trust me. I do heating and air conditioning for a living. Some manufacturers on furnaces decided to do that with their furnaces, tie them together like that with bolts and these spacer things and stuff to keep the heat exchangers from rattling and cracking. They don't, right where you push through. I mean, this whole thing's not meant to do that. It'd be different if you were gonna, you know, run a seam here like a unibody, but you're not. This is all still moving, and now you've ran bolts through, and they're pinpoints. This metal, it's old, it sucks, and it starts to split from where you put it through because it's all moving and shifting and stuff. So personally, I think it's a horrible idea, but you know, whatever. I think this is a whole, I mean, you've got this all apart to do this stuff anyway. Doesn't take nothing to tack stuff across with it. You can do as much as you need, you know, whatever you want to do with it. One of the things I forgot to show on the back side here is with that frame coming back the way it is and the way it's set up in the spacing, this Crown Vic had a trailer hitch receiver. Actually, it's a lot smaller one. Back over there behind the tailgate is a much heavier one, so I'm going to use that on this, so it'll actually have a small hitch and receiver and stuff on it. Actually, not small. It'll fit a standard Stinger and stuff on it. So, but yeah, there's where we're at. So we're rocking and rolling, going in record time with this. So thank you. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments, or again, what you think about I should do for the bed. Thanks.